This is episode 109 of Tech Sales Insights. Really excited to have Kevin Delane on today, industry veteran, as you will see. He's managed to keep his hair a little bit better than me. And he's a CRO at a great growing company, Cohesity. Our title topic today is creating a top-notch go-to-market culture. We have our sponsor, SalesBricks, who's the CPQ sponsor of Sales Community. So as I like to say, all that pain in the ass stuff around getting the config and the pricing and the quote and all that stuff out to the customer that always takes way too long. SalesBricks is a great offering to help kind of automate and make all that go really fast for you. Tucker, maybe you can, and we have Tucker behind the scenes as always helping. So thank you, Tucker. And Tucker, maybe you can throw up the link for those that are members, Sales Community. Thanks. For those that are not, you can use this link. You can go to the Sales Community site, and upper left-hand corner, it says winter free. So anybody can get a free membership, and it's your choice whether you want to click on that link or the one where you have to pay for it. I recommend the free one. So by way of introduction, have from a few mutual friends. First one, Bill Hogan, CRO at Beyond Identity, says about Kevin: high integrity, model family man who leads a results-oriented driven sales team who has led for decades. He was a club quarterback at Providence. We'll get into that a little bit more with Haverty's. Kevin's daughters played competitive sports at Hopkins, Middlebury, and Trinity. And son is currently playing lax at Merrimack, so very impressive there. Huge fan of all the teams I don't follow: Providence College, New York Giants, Yankees, and the Rangers. He was originally brought into storage and sales when Bill Hogan hired him at EMC in the early 90s. So I guess Hogan's taken full credit.
He definitely is, but that's okay.
And after a stellar career at EMC, including overseeing the Isilon acquisition, Kevin also led Pure Storage through IPO and beyond, is now at the helm heading go-to-market at Cohesity. And then Kevin Haverty, who's a longtime ServiceNow CRO and now advisor to the CEO. Kevin says of Kevin, he was the best club quarterback in the East back in the day. And if you're 4 inches taller, he would have been in the NFL. And he's also a fantastic sales leader. And there's also something in there. You won the club Heisman. Is that right?
Yeah, you could call it that, right? But, you know, I can tell you all my kids are better athletes than me, but Haverty certainly is not.
There you go. All right. And then from Johnny Mack, longtime tech legend, DMC, Storage Apps, CNT, McData, mainline CEO, and on several boards, he said, it's obvious that this consummate professional was educated under the watchful eye of the Dominican friars. His career seems to follow a series of building blocks: learn what works and keep applying those learned lessons. That's great. No quick shortcuts for Kevin. Repetition and consistency. And then teaching the same core business values he learned while remaining open to continually learning from those he works with. So that's pretty good. So Bill, Kevin, and John, thanks so much for that. Appreciate it. So anyway, so I've known Kevin, we're trying to figure out, I think 29 years since you started at EMC in 1994. And so, sorry, I didn't remember the moment, but I guess I was involved in your interview process.
You were, and you know, I was interviewing to be on Hogan's team, had sponsorship from John McCarthy and Mike Sheehy, and you were the VP that, you know, I had to get by to get the offer. And we had the interview in New York. You know, you gave me the word, and then I met you and the team out for beers later.
Awesome. And the rest is history.
That's it. That's true.
That's awesome. And he lives in Rye, New York. And I guess that's it for the intro. So if we jump into the questions, why don't we maybe start off? So your first, although Bill wants to take the credit for getting you into sales, but your first job was at ADP, right?
Yeah, I started at ADP for like 3.5 years, and great place to learn how to sell. And they kind of put you through a training program for 6 months, and then they would fill your car full of brochures. So you either went door to door or hit the phones every day. That was your choice. And then had left there and was at a reseller which was by the name of Interboro, which sold the Kronos product. Actually, Kevin Haverty worked there too, and ended up at EMC.
Oh, awesome. And then you want to highlight maybe from there?
Yeah, at EMC started off in they called the PPG group with Billy in New York and the team. After that, I did do a quick stint down in Atlanta, and then came back to New York as selling to, the large financial accounts, and that was under Jim Sullivan and John McCarthy. And, for us, it was a great opportunity. The growth was huge. So, first few years back in New York, stayed as an AE, then moved up to a first-line manager, then the following year to a second-line manager, and eventually ran New York, New Jersey for about 8 years, which was great. And my last role, I stayed at EMC for 18 and a half years. Along the lines, I tell you, one of my big mentors was Bill Tuber, and he really felt that if you're going to take on bigger roles, you had to understand global part of the business, other routes to market, such as alliances and channels. So underneath him, I did global account program, had some of the alliances, verticals, and then my last role was the kind of COO of Isilon when EMC bought Isilon.
Great.
So, yeah.
And then after EMC?
So after EMC, I took a little, there wasn't a lot of places you could go when you left EMC because, they did have the ability to sue you. So I took a little flyer on a kind of data center cloud type company. Wasn't really a great year, but, was there for a year. Halfway through it, Pure gave me a call. It took me, a few months to actually go over and start with Pure. But when I got to Pure, we were a $35 million company. We were about 270 employees. And over the next 70 years, we went from there to a, $2 billion company. We went public during the process. And, I went from the beginning, basically, I would say, doing all the parts of the business that our president, Dave Hatfield, didn't want to do. And Hat's a phenomenal guy, but I took international, our distribution strategy channels, SEs, our large accounts because we were mid-market company. Eventually, after 3 years, I moved in and was really the CRO of Pure until I left. So, and then 16 months ago, came over here to Cohesity, and it's been a fun ride. So I've been here 16 months. I think Cohesity for me, Randy, fit well. Large TAM, the overall TAM, the market needed to be disruptive. I always wanted to represent the best technology and platform out there. And I believe Cohesity has that. And, when you look at, from where the space isn't all that new, if you look at data management, although we're moving more and more into security, but with a lot of the trends in the market between cloud, ransomware, and security, and compliance and regulatory issues, what we do today is extremely important. And I think that gives us a great opportunity to continue to grow.
Awesome. Well, anybody watching along, feel free to ask any questions or post any comments. We already have a few coming in. So Tucker, if we can pull those up. So Linda, Kevin is also an amazing boss. That's pretty good. All right. Linda, your quota just went down for the year. And then Kevin Delane says so many Kevins here. That's pretty funny. So I'm sure Kevin will chime back in later with some other questions. Claudia said, Randy, so glad you have Kevin on today. Violent agreement, Claudia. Thanks. And Bill Hogan, who gave one of the stellar introductions for you, says Kevin is one of the true gentlemen of the industry, one of the best individuals you'd ever want to know, and someone super proud to know and be associated with. So pretty cool there. So maybe let's jump into questions here. And anybody else that wants to chime in online, please feel free. As a reminder, you can see us or hear us. We cannot see you, but we can see certainly whatever you post. So maybe talk about your role as a CRO at Cohesity.
Yeah, so here at Cohesity, I've obviously sales channels, sales ops and rev ops, which are two different things. Also, all of enablement and alliances, OEM reports into me too.
Nice. And then marketing is separate?
Marketing is separate. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And of what you can talk publicly, obviously, with any of these questions, from kind of a go-to-market priority, any kind of 2 or 3 things that are top of mind for you?
Yeah. I mean, for us, top line growth is extremely important. So, that's number one. Number two is we really do well in enterprise, which we define here as $1 billion and above. So $1 billion and above net new logos for us is huge. And then, lastly, from really a product side, our SaaS platform is growing extremely well. Obviously, that's where the market is. So, making sure we have, I would say, hyper growth in that area is key.
So when you started, were they doing I'll say what we might call traditional on-prem ELAs, and then now you're migrating to SaaS, or have they kind of always been SaaS?
Yeah, we were in transition to subscription. So Cohesity actually started out with an appliance, moved much more to perpetual license, now subscription, and then we have a SaaS platform, and that's where a ton of our growth is.
Awesome. And it makes it much easier being a private company as opposed to public during that transition, I bet.
Yes, that definitely helps.
Yeah. And again, what you can share, any kind of 1 or 2 challenges in particular as you look at things?
I think the economy.
Besides the economy.
The economy is first to mind. I think for us, when you look at it, is, we are ripping out incumbents 90% of the time. So greenfield, that's great opportunity. Brownfield and ripping out incumbent takes a lot. So, the challenge is that conventional thinking and getting people to change, and you have to work really hard to get it there.
Oh, awesome. We have a question here, Kevin Delane. Randy, can you ask Kevin to elaborate on selling the best technology? How does he think about equipping his team with the best sales tech? So full disclosure, Kevin is from Gong, and Kevin Delane, Delane and I already talked about this. So we have a good game plan for follow-up. So hopefully I did my job for you. But anyway, so back to Kevin Dolane's question to you, Kevin.
Yeah, you have to believe in what you sell. And to me, where I've worked throughout my career, I always felt that I had the best technology. So that's part of your brand and what you're bringing to your customers out there. So, I do look in our space, and we do have the best platform.
Awesome. Now, just from a selling perspective, you can say no. I'm just thinking it might be interesting to share kind of what our game plan is for the Kevin Delane follow-up. Is that okay, or would you rather me do that offline?
No, I'm good. We can go right online for that one.
All right. So, if you talk about kind of using your resources and relationships, so Kevin Delane, Tim, who we think is a CFO at Gong, knows Kevin from when Kevin was at Pure and he was a CFO at Pure. So Kevin Delane, get all my Kevin's confused here. So Kevin Delane is very happy to take a meeting, but I would strongly suggest that you have Tim kind of be the one to kind of lead the charge and have him CC me on it. And I'd be happy to help get the schedules together. So just for those in sales, it just goes to show you never know where the different connections are and the pieces are relative to who you're trying to get to. So,
and I guarantee I'll take the meeting as long as Tim reaches out. We're good.
All right. How's that? All right here. So anyway, did you finish the question?
I did.
I don't know if you want to add anything else on that. All right. So Dan Campbell says, Kevin and I were peers for many years as EMC DVPs and as leaders who helped integrate and run 2 key EMC acquisitions, Isilon and Data Domain. Kevin is smart, curious, listens well, and leads with empathy. Ooh, that's pretty good. And Dan and Bill, thanks for chiming in here, and feel free to ask Kevin any questions as well. And Eric Coe asks, walk us through your sales process briefly to acquire a $1 billion new logo, or maybe whatever, I guess a large customer new logo.
Well, it can't be that brief because getting a billion-dollar account generally takes a while.
I think I guess if I were to, I think it's probably saying if your ICP is that billion-dollar-ish type company, in order to get one of those large, enterprise or strategic global accounts, that's probably would be what he's talking about.
From our side, we really, number one thing is we focus on activity on a weekly basis. And when we look at accounts there, it's right, how do you find your way into the account to prospect them? And so we do check through Clary, literally all our account engagement and what our AEs are doing weekly. So, I would tell you process wise, when we define the list, we'll start off at what's our activity going after them. And then, the big part of what we do is we're 100% channel. And with that, it's not just the VARs and disties, but we also have OEM partners that are out there in HP, Cisco, and Lenovo and Pure. So I would tell you, we work with all our partners and find the easiest way in. And for that, we either go into the infrastructure side or the security side. More and more today, we go into the security side of the environment and go there.
Gotcha. So is a CISO your ideal kind of entry point and executive sponsor?
Yeah, more and more, Randy, I'd say it's about 60-40 from the kind of storage backup side to now it's the CISO more and more. So.
Gotcha. And that storage backup side is still kind of traditionally under the CIO, right?
Correct.
Gotcha. All right. Awesome. So, Eric, thanks for the question. Now, talking about partners, what's the Cohesity plan on partnering?
So we're 100% through the channel, and we'll stay that way. For us, it gives us huge reach out in the market. And, when you look, we have 215 quota-bearing heads, but our ability to work with the channel for us to actually grow our reach out there is huge. So, I really believe and learned at Pure is the value and the, we call the force multiplier of the channel. And if I look at, we measure activity, as I mentioned, but in that you have to have as many channel partner meetings as you actually do, customer meetings on a weekly basis.
Yeah, exactly. I was always amazed. You've probably seen the movie before, but where you can sell at some organizations where you could sell direct or indirect, you always have people bitching, for lack of better words. I need more resources, need more help. So I'd be on a call and a sales call. I'm like, oh, do you want some more, SEs or SAs, pre-sales resources? That'd be great. How many do you want? Well, if I can get one, that'd be great. I'm like, okay, how about like 20 or 30? Like, geez, how can I do that? It's called the channel partner, right? And then you leverage the relationship, you leverage the feet on the street. So the fact that you're 100% channel, love that. And then obviously you still manage to keep something for account relationships. So as much as the channel partner has a relationship, you still kind of provide some adult supervision there, I assume.
Yeah. And really, I was just in Chicago this week and spent time with the head and WWT. And, I think for us, it's the partners that, think and are kind of built and work like you. So, we're looking at acquiring net new logos. We're looking at winning an enterprise. And it's the quality of partners we look to that's a big part of their business.
Yeah. And then, both have done, it's amazing. Matt and Joe and team at WWT, they were large and kind of got larger and better. And then, Dan at Ahead was, started, teeny tiny. And I think recently did some type of transaction. I haven't exactly followed it, but both have done really well. It's great that you guys are working with them.
Yeah. And throughout the world, we'll look in each country, and each country you go to, we'll have our kind of list of key partners, and we call it, a partner class, and we'll continue to drive that behavior all the time.
Awesome. So we have from John Sellers, huge fan of KD as both a leader and mentor. Can't thank him enough for his friendship. Go Friars. It's got freaking Providence College Day here. Anyway, John, thanks for that. And if you feel free to ask him any questions. A LinkedIn user says 100% channel, and he means it. So that's good. I guess you have no choice. And then Dean Archibald says, love the channel and Alliance's focus, the nature of backup hooking into so many peripheral technologies makes it such a ecosystem-driven sale. And question is thoughts on collaborating with the hyperscales in the deal itself.
Yeah, so for us, that's a growth lever. Right now we can go through marketplace and that. AWS is a huge partner of ours. When you look at the channel partners that are out there now, that is a huge growth for them. So whether that's Presidio or WWT, their business is growing in the hyperscalers. So for us to draft along and be part of that and work directly with them is what we do too. And I would tell you that for us, understanding data on-prem and what goes to the cloud and belongs to the cloud, and a hybrid approach, as we call it, is we spend a lot of our time there, and that's where our platform excels.
Oh, awesome. And Dave Hart was actually out here, CRO executive event I had out here in Beaver Creek this week. So Presidio, another great company, and Dave's done great, like a lot of these other folks. And so back to on the Cohesity side, what about? I assume you've got some openings that you're recruiting for. If you want to mention it.
Yeah, we are. I'd say both in the U.S. and internationally right now in the U.K., Germany, and France. We're building up more. And in the U.S., we're looking for AEs and SEs, and we're always looking for good people.